Hello, welcome to Year 3 and also the Primary Care Placement Apprenticeship. This will be a huge opportunity to experience how illness presents in the community and how it is managed and the interface with specialist secondary care. My name is Roger Charlton. I'm a GP and Professor of Undergraduate Primary Care Education and the lead for the Primary Care Placement in Year 3. We use the phrase primary care as it encompasses general practitioners, but also the multidisciplinary team within which they work, taking very much a holistic approach to illness. And so to my surgery itself in the village of Hampton in Arden. It's been a hugely challenging time in clinical practice for all of us, whether working in the community or in hospital, in relation to the pandemic. The impact on the clinical service and the way in which we now work has been significant, and you will witness this in both the community and hospital, not least in relation to the consultation. Traditionally, most consultations have been face-to-face, and now there is a careful triage process to ensure everybody's safety, patients and staff, by optimising the clinical environment to be COVID secure. You will have the opportunity to develop new skills in remote consulting, but also, where appropriate, to conduct face-to-face consultations and perform indicated clinical examinations under supervision and with appropriate PPE. For all of the situations, you should receive feedback and learn. Primary care is a specialty of immense breadth and depth, and illnesses that present to GPs and can be anything from minor to serious. As a GP, one sees lots of sadness in relation to serious illness, as well as happiness. And one of the great joys of general practice is seeing people get better. And this is particularly so with the many children that consult with their parents. To use the old adage, the GP has to know a little about a lot, and quite often a lot about a little, as many of us are also GPs with special interests in areas such as diabetes and dermatology. In your 12-week apprenticeship, we hope that it will be a stimulus for you to consider a career in general practice. And there are many different types of general practice, from inner city, urban, rural, and also remote. A question I often get asked is, what will we get assessed on? And I would strongly recommend that you look at the student workbook, and in particular the summary of the primary care curriculum. I was doing a revision session with the previous Year 3 recently, and they were very surprised as to where this document had come from, and could they not have been made aware of it earlier. It is on Blackboard, ready for you to read, and a very useful predictor of potential questions. At the end of the placement is a formative assessment which includes both SBAs and an SAQ. If you study the primary care curriculum, you will be able to predict the sort of questions that you will get, not least in an OSCE scenario. Watch carefully your tutors consulting and how they explain things to patients in relation to the disease they may have, and the lifestyle advice that is given and the medication that is prescribed. You might well have to do this in an OSCE situation. As trainee doctors, you learn a new language, and in relation to medical science and in primary care particularly, we spend a lot of time explaining what this means to patients in a format that is understandable and hopefully reassuring.
Okay.
Medicine involves a lot of study and a lot of hard work. It's important to have some time to yourself and to have time out. It could be sport, it could be painting, it could be writing poetry, it could be theatre, it could be dance. It just happens for me that it's cricket. But as you go through your career and in your time as a student, please make sure you have time for yourself and time to recharge for when you go back into the workplace and to study. I work in two places as a GP, mainly here at my own practice in Hampton in Arden, which is next to the NEC and Birmingham Airport, and I've been here since 1995. But I also work as a locum GP on the Isle of Jura in Scotland, which is due west of Glasgow. And my reason for telling you that is that there is no typical general practice, as each general practice is unique, based on its locality, its population, its staff, and its interface with the local secondary care service. I really hope you enjoy your placement, and we're always keen for feedback to try and further improve your experience. As groups, you are very much working in the situation of teams. Try to gain as much as you can from this way of working, because that's what the NHS is going to be like. It is one big team working in the community and also in hospital, and other situations such as laboratories and pharmacies and much more. As GPs, the way we practice and the way patients present is constantly changing, and is a refreshing challenge since I started my training as a GP in a little village called Ecclefechan, just north of the English border in Scotland. I still enjoy being a GP, and I hope you will find it an exciting branch of healthcare and learn lots from it, and your tutors, and in particular our greatest teachers, who are our patients.
Yeah.
My closing words are to remind you that as medical teachers we have failed if you do not make better doctors than we are. I'm very happy now to answer any questions, if I can, on your primary care placement. Please either put questions in the chat, or if you want to come onto your screen and ask a question, please do. You'll be most welcome. We'll have about 15 minutes for questions, and I'm sure there's lots you want to ask, and I'm very happy to answer the questions if I can. So over to you.